are live. We are live. I'm trying to monitor the records from my PC. Let's see how is about the sound as well. I think yes. Yeah, there is advertisement running now. Do we need additional lights? Or this should be enough? Yeah, no need for it. So we keep this if needed. So yeah, it will be nice to have some comments, guys. I see myself. I don't see myself. I see that I'm live now. And yeah, so the first thing is I would like to know if the voice is going clear, if you hear me very well. If I need to change some settings of the mic, that will be the most important thing. That we start our live for the Ultimate Mustang project. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous as well. Yeah, I have see some already joined. So please give me a feedback on the sound. If my sound, if my voice is clear, if the mic is fine, or if I should change some of the settings. Guess everything is fine. So, and I feel the quality is good as well. So, I'm here in the Mustang actually. I thought it would be the best to be at the car. So I'm able actually to talk about the things, to talk about the modifications, the different parts which we did, and yeah, to be able to show you this directly. So I think we start, or still have a minute or two. Yeah, because the schedule actually is for 5 o'clock, and we are still in 2 minutes in advance. So we give it a second or two to have some more people joining. I'm very excited again, and thank you very much for joining my live. Hopefully, I will be able to answer, also to bring lots of information helpful. Every day I see in the groups, I see in the chats. I get questions a lot also on my social platforms about the projects. I have placed lots of details on different forums, Mustang forums, and yeah, I think people are already excited. I thought this project will be for further future, but it looks like it's already running now, and lots of guys I see, they are for the same gens of my Mustang, so 2005 to 2009, they are already going with the Coyote swap. Now, I see that they already doing just a Coyote swap, so a standalone system, which means they are not changing anything from the interior, from the car components, like from the ABS, from the SRI systems. So there is loss of functionality from the car. Now it depends what you want from the car actually. Is it your daily car, or is it something you just use for a track or for drifting for fun? Then maybe you are not much interested on different components and you don't like to do the additional efforts. So yeah, based on your target. But I see lots of people already doing. There are few guys already been in touch with me. They have been doing the very much interesting copy of the project completely, which is for me is very very nice to see, because the efforts I did is actually valuable to see people are using this information. That was the first and the most important thing when I planned to do this project in public, not to do it like for private business or whatsoever. So yeah, again in this video also still the links of the data, whichever you could need. It's available again, just to remind you. that you have access for it. And yeah, should we take a quick round on the car to see different things? I will start about it. So first thing I would say that we do like this. So we have now the camera from the car. Yeah, here is the interior. Just a close look on everything. You can see that it looks in my eyes very, very, very beautiful, very, very nice. You can see the dash, full functioning dash. Whatever information you could thought of, you could like to use, they're all here. And this is very, very, very much amazing. For such a generation of car, let's see, for example, the accelerator, yeah, you can see this information are accurate from my daily drive. So yeah, speaking about daily drive, I would say the first point is this car is a daily drive. So here's the mobile going rotated. I think this is because of the weight. Yeah, so actually going with the car at daily drive, and I see no issues at all. I'm very much happy with the performance, but somehow, yeah, sorry, I'm back. I think the Wi-Fi connection was interrupted, so let's try it again. Yeah, so opening up the hood, that we have a look on the engine. I think I will be losing this for losing the, yeah, let's do it hands on. For some reason it does not like the weight of the mobile, so we do it this way. So here you have the Gen 2 Coyote. Love the power of it, love the performance, love the sound, love every details. I got lots of questions about this module. Now, Gen 1 and Gen 2 transmission speak differently from the transmission which I had, the TR6060. It's kind of older generation technology. So I needed a speed translation module. So actually this one read the speed from the transmission and translate the signal to the Gen 2 PCM module. So the car actually knows, and also the speedometer inside, so I know exactly what's the speed. Now, I know there will be lots of complaints by you guys why I do have the intake system like this. The thing is, I'm planning on a supercharge. That's actually the phase 2 point for me. And based on that, I don't want to do lots of work and modifications. All this area will be completely changed based on the Webull. My target is to go with the Webull Supercharge Gen 5. And yeah, you know that the design and the direction of the intake is actually coming from here, from their throttle. So then I will need to fabricate a special box like I did before with the previous Supercharge. And based on that, I will be able to say what will be the design of the box, what will be the look of it. So for now, this area is actually under consideration. Once I have the supercharge, everything will be clear. The tower, for me, I think we are clear. Everything should be fine. I hope so too, unless I would need to do another modification. If you remember from the first supercharge, when I had the 4.6 Weber supercharge, there was kind of clearance from the hood. That's the Cervini hood. And as you see, I already have the ram air system functions. So to build everything now and then change it again later, it's kind of headache. It's not necessary, not needed. So yeah, here's a quick look. We have the American racing headers down there, and as you all know, I have been talking about this a lot. I have the TR6060 transmission, which I love, truly. Now, it's really important to know which gen of the TR6060 you would need, because you could go with the first generation, which is in 2010 up to 2012, or sorry, the 2007 up to 2010, or the second gen 2011-12, or the 13-14. Everyone has different ratios, and based on these ratios, everything could be different for you, the speed, the RPM. So yeah, that will be your call to know which one do you need. Again, I'm very much happy with it, and the most valuable thing is actually the MGW shifter. This shifter is so perfect. The perfect word, I would say, only perfect. Everything works fine. I'm very much happy about it. The performance is great. I think it's the best. Also, that you can order your own custom logo, which is really amazing. The camera being spotted on the Phoenix head unit. This is the latest head unit by Phoenix, and it's amazing. Even the sound, comparing to the original components, the sound is very much better. Of course, you all know that I have the kicker speakers, the original subwoofers. Nevertheless of that, the sound from the head unit is being improved very much. Additional to all functions. So first of all, because of the setup I'm doing, I have a different modules. I'm able to communicate. Let's take a look here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I have a Wi-Fi OBD, which is connected to the Gen 2 ECU module, and that's actually getting me all the information I need from the engine, because this is my monitoring area. If there is any issues, if I see any performance comments about fueling, about temperature, or even if there is like error or so from the engine. So of course, like for example, monitoring from the misfire system, the fueling system. Here I don't have it monitored because the tune I deactivated it. But yeah, and once you start the car, you can see immediately all the information is coming live, and this is really valuable. Yeah, the function from the AC, I'm using my left hand, which is not so accurate, but yeah, it's fully functional. Even you can see that I have the seat heaters. The AC function. Yeah. Just that I have a better sound. So you can see that the monitor is very much functional. Lots of people asking me how I did this logo. So basically I just took a picture of the car, removed all the backgrounds area with any basic background eraser, and basically when you click on the picture, you could have uploaded it to your internal memory or to your external memory. It's up to what you like. And then just selected, easy peasy. That's that. I just select the picture I need and that's it. It's immediately there. Guys from Phoenix already, they have a video how to do that, and it is actually very uh, easy and very informative. Yeah, what else do we have? You can have here lots of applications, nevertheless, of your need. The reverse camera is also fully functional, so you don't need to do anything. Just make the setting and that's it. Easy peasy. Now the physical buttons, in case if you like to use it, this is, I set it up for the volume, and this one is actually controlling the temperature. You can see how does it work. So yeah, we talked about the cluster, we talked about the MGW. Now one of the things been kind of challenge, it's not so big, it's actually going to be based on your car model. The 2005 and 6, installing the door panels actually a little bit annoying. You will need to do some modifications. One of the guys in the Mustang forums already made the pictures and details about that. It's looked like, in my case, 2008. Actually, most of the screws, the one here, the one here, these are the main. They fit perfectly. From down there, the one on the corner and two side from that side is actually also original, so you don't need to worry about it. Two from here you will need to fabricate. So basically I just installed the base screw nut. That's a nut you can install on any metal and then it's actually fixed, and then just put a screw on it. From this side I have a little bit of gap area. That's actually my mistake. I made a plate in this area. This plate is responsible to, now I think we have some noise, so just give it a second. One of the neighbors started his car. Hopefully my sound is still better. Yeah, I think now we are good. So yeah, these two screws, they don't fit on the originals. The original is a little bit lower, one here, one there. So to be able to solve this issue, the best resolution from my side is I made a small plastic plate which fixed on the original bracket, and then I drilled two screws directly on it. So it's look like this bracket is a little bit pushing the panel outside, and therefore I have this kind of gap. So yeah, I will have to do it again. These kind of things are continuous upgrades, continuous modification. Things are very much nice to have from the newer generation of Mustang. You can see you can pop up the trunk. Everything here like original. Now the light here does not have a plug as before. It's actually transferred here. So easily I just took the light from this area and moved it here. I made a special hole, and you can see it looks like original, or again better than original. So yeah, the plug fit directly, nothing crazy. This area I plan, because since everything is looking nicer and nicer, I plan to have the rear panel, or they call it feather or something, I don't know. But yeah, there is one special cover you put here, and then everything is look nice. And some I saw in the market, they have like a special pockets where you can put some stuff. I don't know how this will fit when you put it down, but anyhow. And you can see this is my camera. Convertible is functioning very well. No issues at all. Everything like original from the functioning like Um it blocks when you're speeding, so you cannot open it, you cannot close it. I have had the module which is the one push opening and one push closing. So actually, all I needed it just to use the same module with the newer gen. You can see it works, and stop it. Just it's completely like as of original. Nothing really does change. Do we like this view? The one thing is, for the newer generation, the Gen 1, 11, or I would say 10 to 14, the one touch module actually is going to be installed here at the body control B. So they have they call the front one the smart junction box, now they call it the body control, and the one in the trunk they call it the body control B. So that is the second one. Before, in my original car build, the one touch module is actually installed there. So yeah, it's basic changes, no worries about it. Yeah, so one of the things, and actually this is very important things we plan to talk about it, is how everything being communicated from the original car parts all the way to the Gen 2 module. So when I started the project in the beginning, my aim and my target and everything was hoping that the campus from Gen 2 will be able to communicate with the Gen 1 components, because I have been already reading some data of the campus system. Gen 1 and Gen 2, they are very much similar. So what is campus, and what I'm talking about is actually, now, when you start any applications, like we say, for example, go back to the torque. Yeah, so the torque's actually reading the information from the ECM or the OBD components. For example, like this one, it does read even more data from different components, like from cluster, from the smart junction box, from the RCM module, ABS, all these things. So the base of this communication is actually all being done on CAN bus. So it's kind of network brand name, like in your home we have a Wi-Fi, we have a network, or like in your mobile you have a 4G. So for cars, and also from different technologies like Airbus systems, elevators, they use something called CAN bus. So the module here is actually reading the signals between all these modules. So when I start the AC, for example, the Havoc module is actually giving a signal out in the network, hey, I have a request to start the air conditioning system. And then, for example, the ECU module take this signal and then activate the compressor, for example, and then they read the pressure from the gas network system of the cooling system. And then many things like from the cluster, it gets data from the RCM, from the ABS, from the ECU module. So this is how the network is all based on the messages system. So my hope was that Gen 1 with the Gen 2 will be able to communicate these things directly, because the messages base was very much similar. But because that Ford, they have a system called part relation, which means a part, for example, like an ABS module has a part number. Every part number are able to communicate with different modules if they match together in the network. So centralized module will be saying, okay, I'm the reference, I have the VIN number, and based on that, your part number should be like this, meaning for the ABS, and then the smart junction box, your part number should be like that, and then the cluster, your part number should be this and that. If the part numbers does not match, the network will not be compatible. Then, if you remember, I did some videos before during the project. I've been able to have the network all communicating Gen 2 and everything else. So you can see the full map of networks, all the modules, they are doing the ping, but they are not confirming each other. So the second phase for me was doing an alternative communication system, because I can run everything with this module standalone, which is running. But if, for example, I like to have the function from the electric steering system that needs actually the correct ECM saying, yes, the engine is running, now the function from the steering will be going. Try it in your car if you have a Gen 1. The steering is very stiff. Once you start the car, it works. Not because it's hydraulic, but it's actually because it's electric. And then it's giving the confirmation to say, okay, now you can work. So therefore, I had to have the correct network running. Then my solution was temporary, and I'm developing the work around that. Maybe in the future it could be ready. It takes time, it takes lots of study. But now I have the Gen 1. Let's focus on it here. I have the Gen 1 EC module. Everything is as original, but it's completely transferred from outside. If we look, I don't have all the wires. Let's switch on the light. Oh, there is no light. So, yeah, we can do this trick. Yeah, so you can see that not all the wires are connected. So I already connected which wire I need. And of course, that's been marked on the diagrams and the document, which again, already attached to this video. So this module is receiving the signal it needs to run the car. And that module, the same thing, is doing the same function, receiving the signal is needed. So for example, the crank signal is being connected to Gen 2 and to Gen 1 as well. The temperature sensor from the engine, from the air mass, from the external temperature, there are different components. I'm able to connect them both in two modules receiving the data, no issues. And then this module is receiving whatever it needs to run the engine, and that module is receiving whatever it needs to confirm the functionality from the car. And it works. Now, the one challenge, one part I couldn't make it is actually the AC signal. I couldn't make it at that time, but then it's been resolved. So once you give the signal from the head unit to start the AC, the air conditioning function, the HVAC module is receiving this and is giving the signal on the network, hey, push on the AC. Now, the AC1, the ACM Gen 1 is receiving the signal and activating the air condition. It cannot, because there is no reading from the pressure, there is no reading from the actually there is from the RPM, but there are missing connections. It doesn't read it, and therefore it does not activate. For example, even the throttle body signals, so it does not activate. And I didn't need it to activate, because when I go watt, I actually like that the air conditioning being shut off, like original factory function. And then you can see here is the video is delayed, but this is only for me to reference to be sure everything's fine. So the challenge was actually getting this signal from Gen 1 to from Gen 2 to tell him, okay, now we need the AC, and then this one is actually controlling everything, running the fan, controlling the pressure from the AC system, and whenever the pressure is rising because of watt function or whatsoever, then it does disconnect the AC. And that is the solution. Actually, for me, it was step one to replacing the Gen 1 ECU. But because it needs lots of development, I thought this will be the easiest. So what I have now actually, a module. Now don't look in the box. The box I fabricated it. Let's try to open this one. Yeah. So this is actually called a CAN bus translator. What means it does connect between two different networks. They don't understand each other. They don't communicate with each other. I'm still developing. That's why this is not in the final position. So I keep it temporary here. What does is actually, you can program it. So from my side, I give it the programming that it gets the data from Gen 1 components to say run the AC, and it translates the signal which I give back to Gen 2, and then it tells it, okay, run the AC, and then Gen 2 is taking the control. When I switch off, also to give it the signal to switch off. Additional functions I can do in the future is transferring everything which is communicating between Gen 1 to Gen 2. Then I will be able to take off the Gen 1 computer. In my case, the work is done. I have been able to manage it during the installation. We have here, we need a light. We need a light. So let's bring a light. So I'm able to show you. Hopefully the sound is still clear. So we can see here, that is the main, this, yeah, you can see this line. That is the line actually transferring whatever signals I needed from here to there or from there to here. So, and even the network, CAN bus network. So this is my solution and it's been made. So there is no headache of keeping both systems. Why not? It's running, it's fine. There is no complaint. But for future projects, to save them lots of trouble, I'm doing this development on the CAN bus system. To be able to say, okay, here's a module, here's the software loaded on it. You can buy the modules like $35 or something, and just connect the networks, and then you can run the car. Run it with full function. You can have the M from the ABA, from the clusters, from the everything to be run. It will take time, but so far we have a solution and it's working perfectly. So yeah. The other point which is related to the network, yeah. So how I'm able actually to do this is I actually using something called the sniffer. I'm not sure if I'm able to get it here. Yeah, that is. So this is called a sniffer or analyzer. Let's see if I can get it clear. Oh yeah, it's okay. So this is a USB module. You connect this one to any CAN bus, nevertheless a car or anything, or even an airplane, and then you can communicate. Actually not, you can sniff all the communication. So you are able to read whatever is going on in the network. RPM speed, increasing, decreasing, function from the cluster, sound system, AC systems, ABS signals, all of them, you can sniff them in the network which you are connected to it. Of course, we all know that Gen 1, it has two networks, high CAN and mid CAN. The Gen 2, actually, it has more. It has high CAN 1, high CAN 2, high CAN 3. They are all combined together to one high CAN using a gateway. And then we have a mid CAN. So whichever you connect this one to it, you'll be able to sniff the network communication there. And then you can see the messages. And these messages, you can use them to make the settings and doing the function on the translator from one to another. Of course, you will need to have access of both generation, which you are translating the signals from both. So yeah, it's It sounds very easy, but it's kind of big work because you can imagine thousands and thousands of messages being transferred in 1 second. So once you put the key on, there will be thousands of messages going on the network. All the modules will be finding, yeah, hi, my name is like this, my part number is like that, I have the VIN number of this, I have this fault, everything is working, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. So this network is crazy. So to be able to pull one message and translate it, you actually need to track all through all these thousands of messages. Now, luckily, one of the guys been very helpful. I don't know how he had these resources, but he had it, and he sent it to me. It's actually the pre-settings messages of Gen 1 and Gen 2. So I have a big list of all the messages usually going from Gen 1 to Gen 2. But to configure this message and to test it from Gen 1 to Gen 2 or Gen 2 to Gen 1, actually it's lots of work still. It's lots of programming. And we all know that once you are at the programming stage, one step, small mistake, and then nothing is working. So yeah, I think I'm being able now to talk about most of the things which I had in my mind. Not sure if you have any questions. My choice for the time to do the live on 5 p.m. on my local time, I'm much more flexible, but I thought for the guys in US, for the guys in Europe, this will be the best time where I'm able to reach all of them in the same time. So actually I know that in US countries, the time zone of 5 o'clock in my time zone comparing to there, it could be like very early in the morning, like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It depends on the different cities. So let's see how this works. This is my first live, and based on your feedback, I will be able to say, okay, we can do different live in earlier period of time or later period of time. Yep, that should be possible. You should be having lots of questions. One of the questions from the guys, again, we talked about the head unit. Yeah, I just had in my mind and had in my mind another thing to talk about. Yes, actually the suspension system. So I was wondering if, because the Gen 2 engine is much more, not much more, a bit heavier than the 4.6, I thought maybe I will need to do some modification on the suspension, but very likely everything is working fine. I was thinking that I would need to change the front springs, which is actually Ibach Pro line, but I see everything is fine. I have no complaints about the performance, about the height. It should be actually dropped a little bit more, but I think it's only like 150 or 200 kilogram more, so not that much. Yeah, I'm a light guy, so I have this compensation privilege from my side. Yeah, one of my friends will be now laughing, saying privilege compared privilege or leverage. I used to mix these two words. Yep. I missed, you can see here there is this wire. That's actually the ground from the engine. That's one of the things was missed after the swab of the engine. Now, this is another thing you need to consider between 2005 up to 2014. We all have a vacuum booster. Let's do it this way. And the vacuum booster actually need a vacuum. So I'm using a vacuum actually from here, and it's working fine for me. But based on the setup you will be doing, maybe you would need to do like a T connection or external connection for the vacuum. Of course, there is also local aftermarket solutions like doing a swap from vacuum to electric. In my case, it's not needed. I'm very much satisfied with it. No issues at all. It's running fine. You can see the fueling system also is running very well. No issues at all. The performance is very fine. I placed the camera here actually and did lots of pulls in the car just to be sure that my fuel pressure is perfect, because again it's mechanical, so there is no data log you can do with that. Of course you can do it with monitoring for the rich and lean condition, but since everything was fine, I want to know if I'm in the limit or not, because I will be doing the supercharge. So the supercharge will need, of course, much more demand. So far I'm running the DW320, the one you saw from earlier videos. They are working perfect. They are very, 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 very well made. I have no issues with it. Headers clearance, I'm using the headers from the 2011 to 14, and it's been installed perfectly to Gen 2 Coyote, and the clearance is absolutely perfect. The American Racing headers, they are very much like original. And then also maybe for some guys there will be the questions of the, let's see, under the car, you can see the clearance is very much perfect. I have no issues with the clearance at all. You can see that I have the exhaust, after market exhaust system, and yeah, no issues at all. For the rear axle or the axle back, I'm running the original OEM from 2011-2014, and they are not finalized, so you can see the positioning and they are very much outside. This is also only because I was testing the sound, if I will like the sound of it or not, or I would like to go with different axle backs. So let's give it a try and see how is it gonna work. So let's close the hood so I can start the system. Using the remote start. Can see. Oh, the old one I used to use the right button actually to start the car, and I forget about it to the new one. Let's focus on this one. So, close the car and giving the order remote start. So I did stop it because I'm able to deliver my voice much more clear. And also other thing is, once I come closer, the car opens automatically. This is a function from the remote system. Now, that was an additional cost, but it's a function I'm very, very much satisfied with. The two-way communication and the functionality of automatic opening the car and closing the car and monitoring the car, monitoring the battery, everything is very much pleasant. I love it. It's nice. It's working perfect. No issues at all. So this is actually one of the things, main things for me it was targeted, that I want to run the car after my setup with everything fully functioning. That was the target, and the target was successful. Everything is working perfectly, no issues at all, from all the modules, from all the components. It's just perfect. So that's the life from my side, guys. Hopefully it's valuable information to you. Hopefully also some others will be able to benefit from it later on. This morning I just saw one in one of the forums. One of the guy was asking swapping Gen 2 in his 2006 Mustang. Yeah. So coming to an end for today. I'm very sure there will be questions in the future, so we will be able to do it once you need. Thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for your support, and keep up the good work. Hopefully seeing your project next on live, saving the S197, saving 2005 and up Mustangs. They are coming older and older, but we take care of our cars. Goodbye for now. Have fun, take care, drive safe, and stay safe.